Today we are going to talk about eye drops, ear cleaning ears, and cleaning teeth and giving pills. With puppies, they are very busy creatures. They like to bite, yes, they like to fuss, and they often do not like being held still to have things done to them. So, Sapporo is going to show you today what we do to teach them to be calm and cooperative when we have to do these things to them that they do not usually like. Sapporo, good girl. So I'm going to have her sit, and I'm going to reward her for being calm. She knows that her food is here. Good puppy, good girl. And I'm going to start, yes, with just some face touches. Yes, good puppy, good girl. Yes. And what I'm looking for is stillness. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. That she's not pulling away and that she's not stressed. Yes. Good girl. Good job. Very good. Puppy. Yes. So when I have some stillness, I'm going to tell her that that behavior has earned this cookie, and that's what that yes is for. Good girl. Yes. Good puppy. Good job. And as I think she gets the idea and is comfortable, yes, I can go with some light, oops, sometimes we just drop cookies. Good girl. Good girl. I can go with some light, yes, restrain. Yes, good girl. And I want her to think all these things, yes, are just ways to get a treat, not a punishment. Good girl. Good job. Yes, good girl. And you can see that she's not pulling away, her ears are not going, they're not pinned back to her head when I'm doing these things to her. Yes, good girl. She's cooperatively holding still. Good puppy, good. So as she becomes more comfortable, I'm going to, yes, ask for some longer restraints. Good girl, yes. Good puppy. And I'm going to start to maybe, yes, touch some other parts of her head while I restrain her. So to prepare for eye drops, yes, I'm going to need to look into those eyes and maybe make them a little wider. Yes, so I can work on just that part without even having the eye drops. Yes, just the behavior that she'll need to do to cope with the eye drops. Then, one of the separate pieces I do, yes, is working on the appearance of the eye drops is not a scary thing. Yes. So we see the eye drops, it just means that we get a treat. Good girl. Then we'll start to combine the behaviors together. Good girl. Good puppy. Good. And when she pulled away, I want this to be cooperative. Good puppy. There's a good girl. Good job. Yes. Good girl. So I'm going to reward her for holding still while the ball came close to her nose. We dropped another treat down here. Good girl. Good job. Well, yes. Good girl. Good puppy. Good girl. Sit. Good job. Good girl. Yes. And I can get closer and closer to her eyes as she gets better at it. And she's had a little bit of experience with this. So I'm going to show you the last step. Girl. Yes. Yes, good girl. Actually holding that eyelid open long enough to get the eye drop in there. You're such a good puppy. Good girl. And you can see she's been giving me her paw. Good girl. We've been working on that trick. Come. Oh, good boy. Is it time for your eye drops? Good job. Hops, jump. Hops here is a pro at eye drops. He has to have them 3 times a day, and he gets treats every time he gets them. Good boy. So he actually starts to let us know that it is time for his eye drops. So he's going to show us how it's done. Bottle. Good boy. Good boy. And he knows he actually lifts his head a little bit so his eyes are available. Good puppy. Very good boy. Good job. So those are the eyes. I'm going to do a similar process for the ears. Yes. Light restrain, light touch with the ear. Yes. Yes, good puppy. Then, yes, show her the bottle. Make sure the bottle itself is not scary. And she has not actually had ear cleaner yet. Good girl, good job, that's very good. Yes. So this is brand new to her. Good girl. Yes. And I'm just gonna work on making sure I can have her be comfortable with just the ear cleaner coming closer to her. Let's see, we dropped another cookie. Good girl. Good. Yes, good girl. And just all the physical things that I'll need to do before I actually put that icky liquid in the ear. Yes, good girl. So she can have some nice positive experiences. When it comes to teeth, good girl. Yes. Same thing, I'm gonna work on some light restraint. Yes. Getting closer and closer to being able to actually lift, yes, those gums up. Good puppy, so good. Good girl. Yes, good puppy. And each time I'm going to mark that nice, calm, cooperative behavior. Little toothbrush for the finger. Yes. Again, just making sure that the new thing itself is not scary. Good girl. Then we'll see. Yes, good girl. And this was the first time that she's had a little brush touch to her tooth, so that was wonderful. Good puppy. Can you do it once more? Good girl. Good puppy. Yes. And you saw she was pulling away a little bit, so I'm going to back off. Yes. And make sure that I'm not doing too much for her. Good girl. Yes. And you could see her that time kind of resign and go, okay, you can do this to me. Good puppy. So this whole time I'm looking for a calm, cooperative puppy who can almost enjoy this process at some point. Then the last one for today is pilling. So I already have some restraint on her. I can hold her head, I can hold her mouth, and she says those things are okay. Good girl. So I'm going to try to open her mouth now. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Then what I like to do is actually open their mouth and give them a treat instead of a pill. And now sit up. Open up that mouth. Yes. And we'll just put a treat in the mouth. Good girl. So open the mouth. Yes. Good puppy. Good girl. And then eventually we'll want to open the mouth nice and wide and be able to insert a pill down there. Good puppy. Such a good girl. All right, so when it's time to give the whole pill, I'm going to open up her mouth, insert the pill as far back as I can, close her mouth, and then just very gently rub her throat. And when I see her lick her nose, I know she's swallowed. And then she's going to get a treat for that. Good girl. That's a good puppy. Good job. Good puppy. In addition to making sure that we can touch ears and eyes, I'm also going to make sure that I can just have kind of a full body restraint too. Good puppy. That I can touch collars, that I can touch feet. Yes. So we spend a bunch of time with our puppies just touching. Yes. Marking, telling them that that was a good behavior for being still and giving them treats. Good puppy. Yes. Good puppy. Can get them used to having maybe a kid grab them. Good girl. Having a vet having to examine them. So we'll pick up the feet. Good puppy. Feel the toes. Yes, good puppy. And I will mark when she is nice and calm. That's such a good girl. Very, very nice. So if they get a little bit fussy, yes. I just try to do a little bit of safe restraint, and then when she decides to not fight me, yes, I'm going to reward. She's a little bit fussy. She's been out for a while, so this is perfect to demonstrate when they get a little frustrated. Good girl. Yes, good puppy. I'll wait for that calmness and then reward. Good girl. Release. One of the other ways that you can help a dog stay still for grooming is to teach them a chin rest. So this is a behavior that we've shaped and rewarded and created duration with. Yes. Then once the dog has duration for that chin rest, then we start to add in distractions. Face. like touching the ears, touching the eyes, until we can do things like eye drops and brushing teeth and examining ears. And it gives the dog a behavior to focus on. Yes. You are just kind of crazy, little man. Does anybody else have a dog that moves around this much? One of the things we've done to help this dog stay still is to teach him to have patience and impulse control when it comes to food. And that will be covered in a whole nother video. What I use this for is grooming matters. He doesn't mind being touched, but he has a very difficult time holding still for it. So as he's focused on those cookies, I can examine his ears, I can look in his eyes, I can lift up his lips, I can put a harness on him or a jacket, release, and he is able to hold still for those things. So that can be another method to be used when we have these really busy dogs who like to move around a lot. So we do a lot of pre-training before we have to do things like put ear drops in them and clean their teeth and make sure that they're nice and comfortable and calm so we don't have to fight them, and we have a much easier job and a happy puppy. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I hope you have a good time training your puppy too. Good girl.